What's up guys, my name is Andy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the heater box in your early Mustang so you can determine if you need to service it or replace it depending on the condition of it. So let's dig right in on what you need to do to get this out of your car. Now normally the first thing I would tell you to do is you're going to want to go ahead and open up this valve on the bottom of your radiator to go ahead and let all the coolant out, because we got to drain the coolant system to get that heater core out of the inside of the car. However, on my car, I don't have to do that because one of the previous owners must have had a problem with the heater core and they didn't hook up the hoses. And as you can see here on my car, these hoses right here, somebody had cut those off, and usually that's a sign that maybe the heater core had failed. And so instead of replacing the heater core and going through that whole process, they just cut the hoses off and then come over here and they'll just put in just a bypass hose that goes from the manifold just down to the water pump. That's common. If you see that, that's probably why that your car is set up that way. But in my car, we're gonna go ahead and take all this stuff out so that we can use the heater core down the road. So once you've got the coolant drain and you're ready to start taking things apart, what we need to do first, let's take out the wire harness here for the heater motor. And that's these two wires right here. We just unplug those from the harness. I have a 2-wire setup. Some of you guys may have a 3-wire setup, so just be mindful of that. Now we need to go ahead and take off the 7/16 nuts that hold these 4 bolts to hold this whole blower motor into the firewall of the car. All right, from here now we can go inside to the cab of the car. Guys, you're probably gonna find that it's easier to just go ahead and remove the seat out of the way. So on mine, it's just 4 nuts underneath the car to get this seat out. That way we can have access underneath the dash. The remainder of this removal is gonna be from inside the car. We'll go ahead and unplug this sensor right here on the front of the heater box. We'll just leave those wires dangling. Now there's supposed to be a screw up here. It's a 3/8 screw that you're supposed to be able to take out. That's holding this box up inside the car. Mine's missing, but you'll find one right here, and you do not need to remove the glove box to get to it. You can just get from underneath the dash and get a hold of this thing and unscrew it and pull it out. So once you get that screw out of the way up top, we can go ahead and start to move this box. And what you're gonna do, if you just kind of wiggle it around, it'll break free those 4 bolts that are in the firewall. So start to come down like this. And you're gonna wanna be careful because you still have your cables hooked up for your heater controls, and you may have vent tubing. I don't have, the defrost vent tubes are missing on mine, which is no surprise. But I do need to take off that cable over there and these cables up top. But this just gets it down and out of the way. From here, we can take stuff apart. If you want, you can label these. The longest one's gonna go all the way to the farthest point, and next shortest, and that one over there. If you guys need to keep track of that, you can do that. But we're just gonna use a 5/16. In this case, this is a nut driver, but you can also use a socket wrench and take this little tab off of here. And don't lose this hardware. Now it's loose. All right, so those come off there. And then we gotta get this last one on this side here. There we go. So as you move this out from the car, just be mindful that you might still have coolant in your heater core. And in my case, they cut the hoses off. I don't know if there's anything in here. You may have to feed the hoses through your firewall a little bit. You can disconnect them here and pull them off the heater core if you don't want to pull them all the way through the firewall. But in my case, we can just go ahead and pull this out here. All right, so here's what my setup looks like. You can see that somebody looks like sandblasted the car and didn't bother to take out the heater box when they did that, but that's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through this thing and kind of see if I need to either, well, I think I need to definitely replace this. This is a cardboard setup and it's just been dented in and it's just falling apart, and this isn't working right. So I bet I could replace this, but I might be able to salvage this housing. So I'll take it apart and take a look at that. For you guys, as you go through and decide what you need to do, there's a lot of parts that you can buy. You can buy new foam here. All of the foam pieces on the inside, you know, like on the door inside here, there's a new foam piece that goes there. There's all kinds of upgrade or refurbish parts that you can buy. And with just popping these clips off, you can get inside and get to this heater core and decide what you need to do. There's also an option, you know, the heater cord just comes out to right here, and the hoses come through the firewall, and you put a clamp on there and just connect it right here. Well, you can also buy extended hoses, or the extended tubes that get outside of the firewall, so the hoses can just come up to that point. Because if you ever have to change this out, you have to disassemble everything to get these hoses off, and it's a lot of work. So something for you to think about as you're going through and deciding how you want to either replace this or refurbish it or whatever you want to do. So guys, that's how you remove the heater box from your early Mustang. And again, it gives you a chance to kind of evaluate what you've got here, what you need to refurbish, what you need to replace, and kind of decide what you want to do. For those of you that just want to completely remove your heater box, I believe there's block-off plates that you can buy to cover up that hole in the firewall. But there's lots of ways you can go with this. Of course, you know, air conditioning, all that kind of stuff, that complicates everything, but something you guys can dig into. And again, parts for everything are available online, so pretty easy to get to. So guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out. And we'll see you in the next one.